is hardly innocent. She's down in the dirt with me, whether she likes it or not.
You won't believe the shocking twists in the story we're about to uncover. Meghan Markle is reportedly in full panic mode as Prince Andrew finally breaks his silence, and what he says could change everything. The royal family's secrets are crumbling, and Meghan's name is at the heart of it all. Why did Prince Andrew's life come crashing down in the wake of the Epstein scandal while Meghan seemingly walked away untouched? Why was one royal punished and the other protected? The silence surrounding Meghan's alleged ties to the same circles that destroyed Andrew raises some very uncomfortable questions. And now, the truth about her past might be about to surface. But here's where it gets even more explosive, because the story that's about to unfold reveals not just the dark corners of Meghan's royal entry, but a secret relationship, a hidden connection, and a world far more dangerous than anyone ever imagined. Stay tuned, because what comes next might just rewrite the history of the modern monarchy. The downfall of Prince Andrew was nothing short of catastrophic. His close ties to the notorious Jeffrey Epstein and the shocking allegations from Virginia Roberts destroyed his public standing overnight. In an instant, his royal future was erased, titles stripped away, and doors slammed shut. The world watched as his scandal unfolded across the headlines, an international catastrophe. But here's the strange part. While the world was fixated on Andrew's connections to Epstein, there was a deafening silence surrounding Meghan Markle and her ties to the very same world. How is it possible that one royal was publicly punished while the other remained untouched? Same circles, same timeline, same elite social environment, yet two completely different outcomes? No investigations, no media pressure, no public scrutiny. Why the silence? Because here's the thing about silence. It doesn't mean innocence. Silence means something, or someone doesn't want the truth to come out. And that's where the real story begins. What's being hidden and why? It's a detail that's been carefully swept under the rug, but whispers have been growing louder. Before Meghan ever met Prince Harry, before the royal wedding and the global headlines, sources claim that Meghan had a much closer relationship with Prince Andrew than anyone ever realized. Not just a casual hello at an event, not a passing acquaintance, but a personal connection that raises eyebrows. According to insiders, Andrew allegedly confided in his friends that he knew Meghan long before she became the Duchess of Sussex. And what's more, their relationship was far more intimate and direct than the public was ever told. If this is true, it changes everything. Meghan wasn't just some outsider stumbling into royal circles, she was already connected. She had ties to one of the most controversial figures in the royal family. So why wasn't this ever acknowledged? And why was this relationship completely omitted when Andrew's scandal came crashing down? How close were they really? What did they discuss behind closed doors? And most importantly, why was this kept a secret when everything else came to light? Now, this is where the story takes an even darker turn. When you think of the Epstein scandal, you probably picture the high-profile individuals who got dragged into the mess. Prince Andrew's name was front and center. But what if I told you Meghan Markle's name should have been right there alongside his? In 2014, photos surfaced of Meghan on a yacht. Yes, a private yacht, not a public cruise or charity event, but one that placed her squarely in the same elite, exclusive circles tied to Jeffrey Epstein's world. This wasn't just a vacation, it was a trip into a world closely connected to Epstein's inner circle. And if you trace the timeline and the people Meghan was interacting with, the connection to Andrew's scandal becomes even more chilling. Same circles, same power players, same timeline. This doesn't look like a coincidence. It looks like proximity, a dangerous proximity. If Prince Andrew's ties to this world destroyed his life, then why has Meghan's connection, however distant, been completely ignored? The yacht photos, the whispers about her personal ties to Andrew, This is not the story the public has been told. What did Meghan know? And why was this never brought up when the rest of the world's attention was focused on the scandal that ruined Andrew? Now, let's zoom in on someone crucial to understanding the deeper layers of this story: Karina Shuliak, Jeffrey Epstein's last known girlfriend. Shuliak was open about her experiences with Epstein, revealing that the only time she flew on private jets or yachts was when she was with him. These weren't casual getaways, they were deliberate, part of Epstein's carefully controlled environment surrounded by powerful figures who lived in his orbit. And this is where Meghan Markle's story intersects. When you start to connect the dots, the pieces start falling into place. That yacht Meghan was seen on in 2014, it wasn't just some glamorous escape. It placed her in the exact same circle that Shuliak described, the very world Epstein controlled. This wasn't a public cruise, this wasn't just a celebrity sighting. It was a private event, a world Meghan was entering. If you take a closer look at the people she interacted with, the timing of it all, it begins to raise serious questions. Was she more than just a casual guest? Was she closer to that world than we've been led to believe? And the connection to Prince Andrew becomes even harder to ignore. The same elite spaces, the same powerful names. This wasn't coincidence, it was proximity. And in a story full of secrets, proximity matters. So what did Meghan see? What did she hear? And why has this all been so carefully kept under wraps? Now, this part of the story takes things into even more mysterious territory. As Prince Andrew's scandal reached its peak, one name was mentioned that many never expected: Meghan Markle. Virginia Roberts, the woman whose accusations played a major role in bringing down Andrew, didn't just want powerful men to face justice. She allegedly wanted Meghan called as a witness. But why? Was it because of Meghan's celebrity status or her marriage to Prince Harry? No, the claim was much darker. Sources suggest that the reason Meghan was mentioned in these legal proceedings wasn't just because of her fame. It was because she was believed to have been personally connected to Andrew, a past association the public didn't know about, but which insiders were all too aware of. This is a big deal. If Meghan had indeed been a close associate of Andrew, it means she might have seen things. She might have been in places others only whispered about. And those whispers didn't just stay in the shadows, they bubbled up to the surface during the legal proceedings that could have changed everything. So why wasn't Meghan called to testify? Was it because she had nothing to reveal? Or was there something much larger at play here? The question becomes even more unsettling when you realize that, despite the buzz around her potential testimony, her name was quietly erased from the narrative. No mention, no investigation, just silence. But silence doesn't erase history, it just buries it. And that buried truth, it could be far more dangerous than anyone realizes. When Meghan Markle first moved to Toronto to film Suits, she wasn't the global icon she is today. She wasn't royal, she wasn't a household name. She was just a working actress, with ambition, but without access to the world's most powerful rooms. But that all changed, and fast. What many don't know is that one man played a pivotal role in pushing Meghan into the elite circles that would ultimately lead her to the royal family. That man was Marcus Anderson, a senior figure tied to Soho House, the exclusive private club known for its high-profile members, secretive events, and elite networking. Anderson didn't just introduce Meghan to Toronto's society, he allegedly recruited her. Through him, she gained access to the upper echelons of power, rubbing shoulders with influential people, including Jessica Mulroney. It wasn't random. This wasn't just socializing. This was strategic positioning. Through these connections, Meghan's life began to intersect with New York's wealth and power, bringing her into circles that were far closer to royalty than anyone realized. This wasn't just a series of chance meetings. It was a network being built. One introduction leading to another, each connection placing her closer to where she wanted to be. By the time her name reached Prince Harry's world, Meghan was no stranger to the most powerful social networks in the world. In fact, sources suggest she had already been making her way into the royal orbit well before Harry ever entered the picture. And as we'll see, her path to the monarchy wasn't just a fairy tale, it was a carefully crafted strategy. Now, here's where things take a turn that many won't expect. You might assume Meghan Markle's eyes were always set on Prince Harry, but according to sources, Harry wasn't her first royal focus. Before Harry ever entered the picture, Meghan allegedly had her sights set on someone else, someone already entrenched inside the palace. That person? Prince Andrew. Yes, Prince Andrew, the same Andrew who would later be caught up in the Epstein scandal. But why Andrew? Not as a mentor, not as a friend. The claim is that Meghan saw him as a strategic target, someone who could open doors to royal life. It's a shocking idea, suggesting that Meghan wasn't just moving through elite circles casually. She wasn't just rubbing elbows with powerful people for the sake of it. She was aiming higher. Meghan's entry into the royal world wasn't a fluke. It was a calculated move, and Andrew was allegedly one of the key pieces. But standing in her way was one major obstacle: Sarah Ferguson, Andrew's ex-wife and longtime ally. Fergie wasn't just the mother of Andrew's children, she was his protector. She was the one who kept his space, his life, and his world tightly guarded. According to sources, it was Fergie who blocked Meghan from getting close enough to Andrew to pursue anything further. And that's when the strategy shifted. If Meghan couldn't get to Andrew, she needed another path into the monarchy. Enter Prince Harry, unexpectedly but perfectly timed. When Meghan married Prince Harry, it seemed like a modern fairy tale. Two people from different worlds finding love against all odds. For Harry, it was a chance at freedom, a new chapter away from the royal family's constraints. He believed he had found love, honesty, and a partner who would help him step outside the shadows of the monarchy. But as time passed, whispers began to creep in. Quiet comments, hidden stories, unseen connections, whispers about Meghan's past, about her ties to Prince Andrew long before Harry ever came into the picture. At first, Harry didn't want to believe any of it. He defended Meghan, he protected her, he cut himself off from those who warned him, including his own family. But eventually, the pressure built up, and the weight of the whispers couldn't be ignored. According to sources, Harry finally came to a painful realization. The warnings from his family weren't about jealousy, control, or cruelty. They were about the truth he didn't want to face, but which, once uncovered, shattered his world. It hit him hard. Harry began to feel disgusted, distant, overwhelmed. How could he look at Meghan the same way when he learned about her past and the connections she kept hidden from him? The truth left him feeling trapped in California, far from his family, far from the life he once knew, now tangled in a marriage filled with uncertainty and betrayal. For Harry, this wasn't just a scandal, it was personal. If Meghan's past with Andrew was real, if she had been aiming for him, then Harry wasn't the one chosen for love. He was chosen for his usefulness, and that realization tore him apart. You'd think the press would explode when news of Meghan's past connection to Prince Andrew surfaced. With everything going on, the media would be relentless. Investigations, headlines, non-stop coverage, especially considering the massive scandal surrounding Andrew and Epstein. But here's the thing, none of that happened. In fact, the press and the palace remained eerily silent. According to insider sources, that silence wasn't a coincidence. It was strategic. The palace had three major fears that kept them from exposing Meghan's alleged past. First, Harry's mental state. If the truth about Meghan came out publicly, it could break him completely. The last thing the monarchy wanted was a prince unraveling in front of the world's eyes. Second, the possibility of a second Epstein explosion. If Meghan was tied, even loosely, to the same circles that took Andrew down, the monarchy could face an even bigger scandal. They couldn't risk another public disaster, not after everything that had already happened. And third, the structural collapse of the royal family's credibility. If the public found out that Meghan had ties to Andrew's world, the monarchy would look reckless, incompetent, and careless for allowing her into the family in the first place. It would tarnish their reputation forever. So, instead of coming clean, the palace made the decision to bury the truth. No statements, no investigations, no questions. Meghan was protected, not because she was innocent, but because exposing her could destroy the entire monarchy. Now imagine this, a man with nothing left to lose, sitting in the aftermath of everything he's lost. Prince Andrew's life was dismantled piece by piece, his reputation ruined, his title stripped, his future erased. The world watched as he fell, while someone else who shared his world, his circles, and even his alleged personal history walked away untouched. That's Andrew's reality today. Sources claim that Andrew is not just angry, he's furious. He feels betrayed by the system that discarded him, while others who were just as connected to Epstein's world were allowed to remain untarnished. And now, according to these insiders, Andrew is ready to speak out. He's ready to leak everything, not out of a sense of justice, but out of resentment and anger. What's worse, he's not alone. Allegedly, Sarah Ferguson, Fergie herself, is aligned with him. Together, they hold knowledge about Meghan's past, her ties to Andrew, the secrets the palace has kept hidden for years. For the first time, the danger isn't coming from the press. It's coming from within the royal family itself. A man silenced for years, a man with nothing left to protect, could detonate the truth with just a single statement. And when Andrew speaks, silence will no longer be able to shield Meghan from the truth. Every story has a breaking point. Every secret has a moment when it can no longer be hidden. And in this case, that moment is fast approaching. There's one truth, one buried reality that could destroy Meghan Markle's royal chapter forever. This truth is not just known by Prince Andrew. Sources claim it's held by Fergie and even by Eugenie. It's a truth tied to Meghan's alleged past with Andrew, a connection to the Epstein orbit, and the reason why the palace stayed silent for so long. If that truth comes to light, it won't just be Meghan's public image that's shattered. Her royal identity, her status, her future influence, all of it could vanish in an instant. The monarchy itself could be shaken to its very core. Because Meghan didn't just marry into the royal family, she infiltrated it. And if Andrew breaks his silence, if he decides to reveal what he knows, the world will never look at Meghan the same way again. The carefully constructed modern royal fairy tale will crack wide open, revealing a much darker, more dangerous history than anyone ever imagined. The palace, the press, and the royal family have all been bracing for this moment. But the real question is this: what happens when the man who lost everything finally decides he has nothing left to protect? When that moment comes, the world won't just hear a confession. They'll witness history rewriting itself in real time. And this story, well, it's only just beginning.